Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 25, where today the now 7-0 South Carolina Gamecocks face the 3-4 Texas A&M Aggies, and the Gamecocks come to this game the 5th ranked team in the country, our highest ranking underneath Coach Rob, going up against a Texas A&M team that is 0-4 in the SEC, but this has the making to be the true definition of a trap game, a team who's not very good, and a crowd that's very raucous still at Kyle Field. The South Carolina Gamecocks coming off their biggest win of the season. You got to keep your eye on the ball because this Aggies team is talented, and we'll see the Gamecock offense on the field first. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. These two teams met in Columbia last year. It was the Gamecocks victorious 17-14 in a close encounter, as the Gamecocks start off with a handoff, and Wade Man goes backwards. Tyler Bowie, the senior, with a tackle for a loss quickly. 2nd and 12, they go back to Man, and he picks up 5, and South Carolina already facing a 3rd down. 3rd and 7, Brock to the air for the first time, fires across the middle, and a great throw to Vernon Ryder. That is a tough, tight window throw. Only the 3rd reception of the season for Vernon Ryder, but it's a big one because it moves the chains. After the first down of the game, it's a 1-yard run for Man. Man coming off a 150-yard performance on the ground is here on 2nd and 9. Brock's going to tuck in himself and run, and Brock has a ton of running room. He's mobile. He doesn't get on the move all that often, but there's 22 with his legs. Quickly, South Carolina down to the 32 of Texas A&M. On the next throw, Brock with a beautiful pass to Carl Saban, who the former Wake Forest Demon Deacons really stepped into himself here. Goal to go here for the Gamecocks. It's a run. It's a gain of 4. And 2nd and goal from the 5. Monty Soro right side, and he's going to get to the 3. Now you got a 3rd and goal. They trust the ground game. It's Soro, and he's going to find the end zone. Touchdown, Gamecocks. And South Carolina's on the board first after a impressive first drive. They lead 7-0. And now we'll take a look at this Aggie offense led by senior quarterback Oliver Carswell, who's having a pretty decent year for the Aggies. 2,000 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's just got to be careful with this Gamecocks pass rush, but on 1st down, there's a deep pass down the right side. He connects with Steven Tyler for a big gain. Aggies will go no huddle as well as they hurry back to the line. They want another deep ball this time. Raheem Laborn, the freshman, does knock it away. 2nd and 10 now. Carswell back to the air. Looks short. That one incomplete as well. Now it's 3rd and 10 for the Aggies. Carswell to throw. Pressure up the middle. He's sacked by Caleb Cottrell. And all that in the Aggies drive will end in a punt. 2nd drive here for the Gamecocks. Start about midfield as Brock tries to keep it on 1st down. He picks up 3 before taking some contact. 2nd and 7. Toss out wide to Soro, and there's nothing there. Good run defense thus far for Texas A&M. Soro's got 5 carries, 24 yards. 3rd and 6 now. Brock steps up, runs again, and he's getting mobile today for the early portions of this one. Out to the 34. Handoff Soro as Man catches a breather on this drive. He gained 6. Already the 6th attempt of the day for Monty Soro. 2nd and 6. Brock to throw. 4-man rush. Tries to step up, and he can't get away. This time he's sacked down by Kendron Crumpler. And now it's 3rd and 8. Brock going back to the air. Steps up again, and he's going to run, and this time he does pick up the 1st down. A&M does have a good pass rush, and Brock's respecting it as he's getting outside the pocket, moving, getting plays done with his own. Here's Man on 1st down. He gains 2 before running into the arms of legend Bartu. And now it's 2nd and 8. Brock back to the air. 4-man rush. Looks short for Man, who's going to get involved in the passing game as he steps out of bounds. 52 yards passing already for Brock. A perfect 4 for 4 as he gets out to the 11. Motions McNitt across the formation. Hands it to Man, but he's going to run into the arms of Tyler Bowie, who's been active thus far. Now 3rd and 10 for the Gamecocks, and Brock sits as he throws. That'll be a field goal for the Gamecocks, and it'll take us to the end of the 1st quarter. They do lead 10-0, but the Aggies, after another big play in the passing department, you can see already 103 yards passing, have set themselves up nicely deep in Gamecock territory. 1st and 10 from the 19 in the pistol. Hand it off to Genty, who's going to get he's going to get his 1st carry of the day. He picks up 9. DeMar Jerry is arguably the best running back not named Wade Man in the SEC, so I'm surprised they haven't leaned on him more. As they go to him on second is short, but the play won't count, as they're going to get the impact of left tackle Santiago Silvestro with the hold. Now 2nd and 11 for the Aggies. Carswell goes back to the air, wants the deep ball in the back of the end zone. It's caught! What a grab in the back of the end zone by Adrian Smoker, and the sophomore scores 6. Beautiful touch pass, and it's now 10-7 as the Aggies get it within 3, and there's a nice play on first down by Crumpler again. Loss of 4. 2nd and 14, they hand it off to Mann as he breaks the tackle. Mann gets to the left side. He's got green grass in front of him. It's a foot race down the sideline, and Mann will get the angle, and he'll go the distance. 72 yards for Wade Mann. Actually, that's 82 yards for the touchdown. Hasn't been a good day running for the Gamecocks, but an 82-yard run will help things. 17-7 now your score. A&M, though, again is starting to light it up in the passing department. There's a big play. And they're already at the 29 of South Carolina. Moving quickly, they go play fake. Carswell steps up in the pocket. He just dumps it off short, but it's going to be plenty of running room for Steve Tyler, who gets 9. Carswell already at 151 yards passing, and he's barely been on the field. Here's a handoff for Jerry, left side, and DeMar Jerry gets a goal to go from the 7. Gamecock defense reeling here. Aggies stay with their foot on the gas. It's a short pass to the tight end, Gay, who gets spun out of bounds at the 3. A&M will take a breather. 2nd and goal. Quick pass, wide open, touchdown for the Aggies. And they answer right back. Going tit for tat with the Gamecocks. It's now 17-14. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Brock on 1st and 10 will keep this one. He's brought down after a loss of 2. Making it now 2nd and 12. Brock goes to the air. Looks over a middle, has McNitt with a nice catch and run, gets away from the linebacker. First down, South Carolina. They get out to the 31, and the big plays continue to go for both teams. Next play is a handoff to Wade Mann, left side, and he only gets 3. Take away his big run. It's not been a good day for Wade Mann. 2nd and 7, Brock to the air. Looks short, and it's going to be caught. That's Amari Allgaier with his 2nd grab of the afternoon. But now a 3rd and 4. Brock quickly outside the pocket, dumps it for Mann, who gets in. That's a late tackle on the concrete. Come on, ref. Where's the late hit out of bounds? Brock 9 for 10 on the day. In the red zone they go. As he looks to pass again, he wants Saban short, but great defense by the safety, Nate Stoneburner, to knock that one away. Goes right back to Saban on 2nd down, picks up 6, and now you got a more manageable 3rd and 4. They bring receiver closer into the formation. Brock, it's a screen for Wade Mann. He's got blockers out in front, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Brock, 128 yards passing already today. 1st and goal, Monty Soro, right side, cuts it back left, and he finds the end zone. 2nd rushing touchdown of the day for Monty Soro, and the Gamecocks answer back with a touchdown of their own. Both teams continue to trade blows here in the 2nd quarter. It's now 24-14. As Carswell wants a deep ball on the first play of this drive, and wide open for 6 is Steve Tyler. 6th touchdown of the season for Tyler. It's a 75-yard strike. Danny Kaufman bites on the play fake. And just like that, it's a 3-point game again. A&M with 3 touchdowns in this quarter as we reach the 2-minute warning. Brock making an adjustment on 1st and 10. He wants this one-on-one with Saban left side, but he's intercepted. A great interception by cornerback Quincy Branson. His 3rd of the season, 10th in his college career. And that's the 5th of the season for Brock, and now A&M with a chance to go take a lead here. Fortunately for them, it hasn't worked out. They go backwards, so they just run the football. But South Carolina will use a timeout. They want the football back with 1:30. They're going to get the opportunity to. Punts back for Saban, who's returned a couple already this season, and he's going to get to the 44 of their Texas A&M Aggies. So not bad field position with 90 seconds as Brock looks to throw. He steps up, and he's going to run for it. And he's going to get 9 with his legs. Already his 7th run of the day. 2nd and 1 now inside a minute. The Gamecocks go empty as Brock wants to scramble again. He's got plenty of running room. Aggies have been playing a lot of man today, which means a lot of open space that Brock can get outside, and he does again. 8 for 69 for the freshman. And now he's got him in the red zone with a 45 seconds. Quick pass to McNitt, caught. That's going to be a 1st down, goal to go from the 5. Brock now inside 30 seconds. Wants to run, but he's going to eat the sack from Tyler Bowie. Actually, they don't say it's a sack. He gets pushed actually to the 1. So that works for us. They call a timeout, and Wade Mann will punch it in. Touchdown, South Carolina, and they go up 31-21 going into the half. What's been an explosive first 2 quarters of football. Aggies offense looks very impressive. The Gamecocks do as well. Looks like we might be in line for a shootout. We'll just have to see who gets the last shot and win this game. We'll find out in the second half. Back to the action here. The Aggies trail by 10, starting off with the football after a touchback as they hand it off to Jerry, who gets no yardage. Nice tackle by Colby Boyette. It wasn't the run defense that was a problem, though. It was the pass defense. So we'll see how they do in the second half, as there's a quick 3-yard hitter outside. And it's an early third down for the Aggies. Carswell outside the pocket checks it down short, and this won't be a first. Okay, the defense forced the 3 and outs. Good start to the second half. The Gamecocks up by 10, trying to extend on this lead now. They start off with 7 to Wade Mann, who has 99 yards, but if you take away his 88-yard run, he only has 11 for 11, so not the best start. This guy, though, has been riding the football well. Shaquille Brock at 81 yards himself on his 10th carry. Next down goes to Wade Mann, who picks up 5. He crosses the 100-yard mark. Gets his 14th carry here up the middle, and will pick up a first down, and the Gamecocks pounding the rock as they get out to the 44. As it's a handoff to Monty Soro with good patience, and he finds 7 yards. Soro having a good game himself. Pair of touchdowns in the first half. He'll check out, though, for Wade Mann on 2nd and 3. He will pick up a first down, and the South Carolina content with just keeping the football on the ground. We've seen this plenty of times this season. As on first down, here's another good run outside, despite some weird things happening towards the sideline. Wade Mann's able to pick up a first. Into the red zone, the Gamecocks go on 1st and 10. Brock wants to throw, but he gets sacked down by Virgil Vigil, who with his 13th and a half career sack for the Aggies. Loss of 1. Short pass across the middle finds Juan Gallegos for 8. Now it's 3rd and 3. They trust Mann, but he won't get it. But South Carolina will kick 3, so they extend their lead up by 13. As we go back to the Aggies now, as they start with a 2-yard gain to Jerry. 2nd and 8, play fake now for Carswell. He looks short, has a receiver who steps out of bounds a yard shy of the marker. Now it's a big 3rd and 1. They trust Jerry. Nice move outside, picks up the first down, so it makes them so dangerous. Hard to bring down, shifty back. Gets the first, and A&M will pick up the pace. Off the play fake, Carswell just checks it short, and he actually can't hit his target. It's incomplete. Carswell, though, 262 yards and 3 touchdowns already to his name. So 2nd and 10, he gets outside the pocket. Perkins is there, but Perkins can't bring him down. And this is bad because Carswell can run as he slides down to the 18. Perkins has got to make that tackle. You have a free shot at the quarterback, and it turns into a big play. Next play is a quick screen for Cortez Chisholm, the Impact senior, who gains 5. 2nd and 5 now in the pistol. It's a bubble screen out wide, and there's some blockers, and it's going to be tackled down at the 1. Tremaine Gray with his 2nd grab. And A&M will reset. Hand off to Jerry, and he won't get there. Caleb Cottrell with a nice tackle for a loss. His 3rd of the day. 2nd and goal. Now Jerry playing some quarterback. It's the Wildcat. He flips it forward. Another broken tackle, and it's going to be a touchdown. The Aggies find the end zone. Nice answer for them, as this game is now within 6. 2nd and 7 here for the Gamecocks. Brock wants the deep ball. Has Saban behind the defense, and this time it connects. Carl Saban for 74. Thank you. Answering right back go the Gamecocks. The fireworks have not stopped going off. They'll try for 2 points now. They want a 14-point lead, but they can't get it, so it'll stay a 12-point deficit for the Aggies. 40-28 your score. Their next drive here is a play fake, and Carswell is sacked. That's going to be Angel Casey with his first sack of the day. After an incompletion, it's now 3rd and 13. Carswell takes the snap. Throws it across the middle. Wide open out of the backfield is Jerry with plenty of room to run. And again, the bad defense on display there. There's no reason he should be that wide open on a 3rd and long. Next play, they hand it off to Jerry, who gets a burst of speed, and he finds the end zone. Touchdown, Aggies. Tit for tat, these teams continue to go. As we'll go to the end of the 3rd quarter, it is a shootout here in Texas. 40-35, the Gamecocks leading by 5 behind Shaquille Brock in the offense. The defense has got to start getting some stops. South Carolina starts off the quarter, though, with the football. Their own 39 on 1st and 10. They hand it off to Mann, who gets maybe 2. 2nd and 8, bunch to the right. Brock to throw. Wants to take off and run, but will only get 2 as the Aggies are there. Now it's a crucial 3rd and 6. Brock goes empty. Looks across the middle. Has McNitt, but he drops it. We've seen the drops come into play for McNitt the past couple of weeks. That's a crucial one there, as now the Aggies only down by 5 and go out and potentially take the lead. It's a 3rd and 1 here. Quick pass open. It's a 1st down. And it's out into Gamecock territory again. Carswell 351 yards passing. Next play is another play action. Carswell wants the deep ball, and he's got it. But it might be coming back. A holding call in the center. Kevin Gator, who's getting the start for the injured Josh Paulo. That's a big break for the Gamecocks. The Aggies, though, get 18 on the next play. They make it a 2nd and 2, and they have no problem picking up the 1st down and a lot more. A big run outside, pushed out of bounds of the 9, and it's goal to go for Texas A&M. Where is the defense, please? Next play, screen out wide, open space, tackled down at the 1-yard line. 2nd goal, Jerry gets the handoff, and he's going to find the end zone. Aggies take the lead for the first time today. Texas A&M's out in front. Now their turn to go for 2, trying to make it a 3-point game. Carswell will not get it as Bodden tackles him short. But Texas A&M leads by a point. Next drive for the Gamecocks. Here's a big handoff to Soro, who gets outside, and he picks up a nice 1st down, gain of 11. He has 46 today. Next play is a handoff for Mann, left side. He gains 4, and the Gamecocks will try to retake the lead here. But on 2nd down, there's a nice tackle for a loss, and it's now 3rd and 9. Brock going to the air. 4-man rush hit as he throws. This one's incomplete. They will punt it away to Texas A&M. With 6.5 as a chance to really stake their claim here. 2nd and 10. Carswell outside the pocket. Looks downfield. Has a man. You got to make a play on that football. 400 yards passing for Carswell now as the Aggies are at midfield. As Jerry gets a 9-yard run. And now the run game is starting to work for the Aggies. 6 minutes to go. It's a play fake on 2nd and short. Carswell with all day to throw. Will just take it and run. And he'll pick up a 1st down. So much space for these Aggies players. 1st and 10, another play fake. Almost the same thing. Carswell gets outside the pocket, and he picks up 9 with his legs. Another big chunk gain. 2nd and 1, another play fake. Carswell this time dumps it short. Wide open, caught by Adrian Smoker. The defense just letting everything get open. From the 11, handoff Jerry outside, and this will be a good play as it's only a gain of 2 before Laborn makes the tackle. 2nd and 8, they hurry back to the line. It's a give to Jerry, bounces it left side, gets a nice run here of 7. And that was a much more manageable 3rd and 1. Jerry with 137 yards today. The Aggies will reset. They hand the football off up the middle, and it's into the end zone for a touchdown. The Aggies get another end zone trip. They now lead 48-40. The Gamecocks reeling here with 4 minutes to go. And on 1st and 10, there's going to be a hold. Center Stephen Colombo, the culprit, and everything falling apart for the Gamecocks. The offense seems to be running out of steam. After the holding call, Brock will go to the air, and he's quickly under pressure and sacked. Kevin Fine, the right guard, gets beat immediately by Ezekiel Appa for his 2nd sack of the season. Now it's a 3rd and 23. Brock hits McNitt, but another drop will prove costly. South Carolina will punt it back, and with 2.5 to go, this is getting scary. 2nd and 1. How about a quick 41-yard strike? And the Aggies have crossed the 50-point mark. Where is the defense today? Pending the extra point, here's Mitchell McBriar, who will kick it up and good. And the Aggies have 55 points. They now lead by 15. As with the 2-minute warning, the Gamecocks offense now needs something big of their own. 2nd and 2, Gallegos with a 1st down. That'll temporarily stop the clock as now they hurry back to the line. Bunch to the right. Brock takes the snap, rolls to his left, dumps it off for Gallegos downfield, who gets out of bounds at the 23. 300 yards passing for Brock now as he's at the 23 of the Aggies. As he goes to the air, looks right side, has an open McNitt, but he's intercepted. Come on, man. You gotta be kidding me. He was open. Instead, it's the second pick. Brock throws his hands in the air in frustration. Honestly, that's it. The Aggies pull off the upset. They beat the number 5 ranked Gamecocks 55-40. I cannot believe we gave up 55 points in this game. Oliver Carswell looked like a Heisman Trophy player in this one. And not only 55 points, they had 55 points in 3 quarters. They had 0 points after the first frame. An absolute embarrassing performance for half the team. 669 yards given up to the Aggies today. We had 620 of ourselves. I don't blame the offense in this one. The defense just did not show up. And we saw this same thing happen last year in the Alabama loss. And it comes back and bites us here. Our undefeated season is over. And the Aggies are victorious. As Brock, 300 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. The 2 interceptions weren't really his fault. I mean, there were 2 deep balls, 2 good plays by the secondary. Just got bogus play, man. The defense, they shouldn't even show up to practice on Monday. We somehow get a commit after this game. 4-star center D. Foxworth liked what he saw and committed to the team. We're happy to see it. He's an agile blocker from down the road on I-77 in Blythewood, South Carolina, as he's a good guy who can block in space. Fortunately, though, a lot of guys saw what they saw and decided to not go here. Off a friend, the linebacker I liked, commits to the Louisville Cardinals. Devontae Cherry, a guy I see a lot of Wade Man in, will instead go to the Florida Gators. And then linebacker Fitu Tatu will stay in North Carolina to go to NC State. Well, here are the other big stories coming out of the week. Missouri and Oklahoma will play this week in a big SEC clash. We need the Sooners to lose that game. North Texas finally goes down. They lose to UCLA. Big win for the Bruins. We'll see how that shakes up the group of 5 schools. Miami beats their rival Florida State 28-20. And then Texas falls to Arkansas. Big win for the Razorbacks. Other scores in Week 9. West Virginia on Thursday beats Texas Tech by a point. And then California will double up Boston College. More Big 12 play as Houston beats Baylor, and then we see USC get the victory over Northwestern. And then to wrap up the Big 12 Thursday night clashes, it's Iowa State beating Arizona. Getting into Saturday, Wisconsin up to number 12. They beat Illinois, as I think the Badgers continue to get some favoritism in the top 25. Arkansas State beats ODU, and then TCU puts up 59 on BYU. I don't understand the Horned Frogs. How did they lose to Cincinnati last week? Western Kentucky now up to number 17 with a victory, and then Notre Dame with 7 in a row now as they beat Wake Forest. Oklahoma State gets their first win of the season a week after beating TCU. Cincinnati lays an egg. Welcome to Big 12 football. East Carolina, the nice road victory in the AAC, and then Washington's back in the top 10. They beat Purdue this week. Auburn gets the win in the national championship rematch, and the Georgia Bulldogs are no longer ranked. It's dire straits for UGA if they want to defend their title. Kansas State squeaks by Colorado, and Marshall knocks off Appalachian State. Oregon back in the win columns. They double up Indiana this week. Georgia State also winless. They lose to Louisiana Monroe. Boise State, the big victory in Allegiant Stadium over UNLV in the Pac-12. Central Michigan knocks off Miami, Ohio. Georgia Tech over Louisville in ACC clash. And also in the conference, Virginia Tech beats Pittsburgh by 2 touchdowns. Michigan with a nice victory over Maryland on the road. Don't sleep in the Wolverines this year. And then Missouri setting up their big clash with number 1 Oklahoma. They beat Vanderbilt. Virginia over North Carolina. It's been a bad season for the Tar Heels. LSU beats Alabama. We'll see the Tide this week. They're coming off a loss. And we see North Texas go down to UCLA by 8. Minnesota beats their rivals in Nebraska. NC State over their rivals in Duke. Fresno State with a Pac-12 victory over Washington State. Western Michigan squeaks by UCF. A big loss for the Knights. Even though it was on the road, you got to beat those group of 5 teams. Oklahoma slaughters Tennessee to stamp their number 1 claim some more. And Rutgers beats down UConn. The Scarlet Knights up to number 16. Penn State finally back in the win column over Ohio State, knocking the Buckeyes out of the rankings. Liberty beats New Mexico State in conference play. And then back to the MAC play. Kent State knocks off their rivals in Bowling Green. Memphis doubles up UAB this week to win the trophy. And then Utah over Arizona State. The Utes, the 3rd best team in the country. Texas State loses to Wyoming. It's not been a good start for Mountain West play for the Bobcats this season. And Rice finally cracks the rankings. They beat Tulane in a really close affair. Also in the AAC, Army gets a victory over UTSA. That's the first one. Actually, excuse me, I read that backwards. It's actually UTSA who gets the victory. Arkansas State beat Texas this week in a big clash. The Razorbacks with a signature win on College game day as well. 118 points between them, but it's Nevada getting the victory. Then Iowa over Michigan State. Middle Tennessee State knocks off Kennesaw State. Eastern Michigan over Buffalo. The Bulls go down at home. Southern Miss knocks off Coastal Carolina. We saw Miami beat Florida State. Clemson also loses this week to SMU. The Tigers out of the top 25. FIU over SHSU. Tulsa with a big victory over South Florida. Oregon State beats San Diego State pretty comfortably. And then Florida beating Ole Miss by a point to round out the week. Here are your players of the week. Abdul Carden of East Carolina, 4 sacks in the wing, is national defensive, while Connor Hamrick of TCU with 3 total touchdowns gets offensive. In the SEC, it's Fanal Sativa of Ole Miss and DeMar Jerry of A&M. Don't know how it's not Oliver Carswell, considering he was the player of the game, but I digress. Here's the new top 25, and it's the inaugural college football playoff rankings. And we start the CFP ranked number 15, so we fall 10 spots in polls this week, outside the top 12, thanks to our loss to the Aggies. But all hope is not lost. If you look at the first projection for the playoff bracket, sitting right there in the 4 seed is the South Carolina Gamecocks. And that's because we are the top team in the SEC conference standing-wise. So our fate is still in our hands, but we cannot afford another performance like we just saw against Texas A&M. Big games this week. Oklahoma plays Missouri. The Tigers could do us a huge solid if they beat the Sooners. Kansas State versus Utah in a big Big 12 clash. And TCU also against Iowa State. And then Rutgers plays host to Oregon in a matchup of top 25 teams from the Big 10. As far as us, we will return home after finally being on the road for 3 straight weeks to play the Alabama Crimson Tide, who are coming off a loss to LSU. They're 4-4, 1-3 in the SEC. This is not the same Alabama team that was dominant in the Nick Saban era. But this is not a team you can sleep on. Last year, they destroyed us in the passing game, a lot like we just saw in Texas A&M, where we could not stop their offense. It's a new quarterback in Alabama, but their new quarterback, Wiley, reminds me a lot of Oliver Carswell. So this game is scaring me because they're a similar team to A&M who just dropped 55 on us. Hopefully that was the wake-up call for the defense. Hopefully being back at home will straighten some things out because we cannot afford another loss like that. We're down to number 15. This is our best chance to make the playoff yet, and I would love to get to that point. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry our undefeated season has come to a close, but there's still a lot to play for. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more of this series. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.